like I said, for parents, I've already said that one meal together without gadgets. That would be one thing. If I would encourage everyone to do, every family to set up that time. Second thing, like I said, about sharing, right? Don't ask questions, but share. So children will start sharing also how their day was. And the third thing would be physical activity. I would say let children play.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. All age groups, they need that physical outlet and free play. Some time of free play wherever possible. If not, then some kind of sports. So I think physical exercise is very important.
Yeah. Hi Rashmi, how are you?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you so much. Thanks for giving me your time. And you are basically into education, right?
That's right. That's right.
So how long have you been in education?
So actually, this June I complete 30 years of my first ever teaching assignment. So that was in June '94. So yeah, there were gaps, but then more or less 30 years I've been working with children. Yeah.
Children. So you love to work with children.
Yeah, I do. That's my passion.
Okay. So right now, can you tell us something about yourself and what you do?
I got my degree in early childhood education. I started working in teaching and then my other degrees. And I've worked with children of all age groups over the years and helped them in many ways, seen what kind of problems they had, challenges they had, and helped them overcome them. And actually, when you're a teacher, you're not just a teacher. You end up being a part of the family. Because I've taught the same children over the years, and then started talking to parents and getting more involved with them. So it's been a wonderful journey over the years.
Yeah, that must be very interesting.
It has
to
been.
deal with the children because we have a passion for
It's very enriching, yes.
That's your passion.
Yes.
So currently, what are you?
So currently, I'm now into counseling and coaching, parenting.
Okay.
So I moved. See, I have been working with children,
Okay.
yeah.
So, how did you move into parenting?
Yeah, so it's been quite a smooth transition actually because in my role as a teacher, as a coordinator, as a mentor, as a trainer over the years, I have been working with, like I said, children who face some kind of challenges.
Yeah.
And as a coordinator, they would all be brought into my office that, this child is having this problem, he's not behaving, he's having challenges. And I would end up talking and finding out that where exactly the problem lies. And over the years, I found that a lot of it could be traced back to the house. Okay, it's not that one fine day a child gets up and starts to misbehave or starts grabbing attention. So it could be traced back to the family. Then yes, obviously, yes. So then as I started interacting with parents, I realized that yes, they are also somewhere not able to cope up, with the demand. Yes, the demands of the growing children and
working couples.
And working couples, yes. So earlier we would say that it takes a village to raise a child. I don't know if you heard of this. It's and if you go back a few years, that is how our families were.
Yeah, that was the family were. Your grandparents,
exactly, yeah.
Parents,
yes. So many people around. So that they were all like your, safety guard, safety net. They're always there. So if mom and dad are upset, then you can go to chachi or bua or dadi. Someone is there.
Someone is there to fall back.
Yeah, and cousins. So. But now with the changing landscape, it's more and more nuclear families, right?
Very much, very much.
And again, the number of children also, like one or two, many times one child.
One child.
So I could see that over 30 years how things have changed.
Yeah, drastically it's changed in the last 1 or 2 decades. Things have changed drastically.
They have. So that is what got my interest into moving into parenting.
But many of them have only one single child, so that
yes.
because of the problem, how do you handle that?
Yes, me included. I have one child, so yeah. So that is how it is. We have to make them confident and comfortable and make sure that they are taken, care of. There are advantages and disadvantages of all kinds, but you need the close family support. Then, and in that case, friends and family, they become important. And I would say friends are the family you choose.
Yeah.
So guide them to choose their friends wisely, build relationships which will stay for a long time.
Yes. So what do you see in today's children or the parents? How do you bridge them together?
Yeah, so couple of challenges children are facing now is like we mentioned that one being a nuclear family, both parents working, they don't get sometimes that attention which they need,
That much
and
care that is
that
required.
much care,
Emotional support.
that support which they need. So that is one of the challenges. There's loneliness, and there's no buffer like someone to go to.
Yeah, fall back.
For some fallback option. So that's one thing I see a lot in children today, that they find themselves isolated. Secondly, with both parents working, sometimes parents compensate the time with gifts, right? So when you're not able to give time, you have that guilt, and then you end up buying things. So this generation, I see a lot of children, they feel entitled. They don't value what the parents give them. And maybe somewhere it's the parents also responsible, because they give it out of not before the child even asks for something, it's ready for them.
Yeah.
So then they don't value it. And I'm sure you can think of some example where you have probably done.
We used to appreciate what I used to get. It was, those days, to get something was something very big.
Absolutely. And now children, they grow up with everything on a platter already served to them. So I see that many times they're not able to appreciate that, what they're getting. So that also gets them into this sense of entitlement that what, I deserve this. I don't have to work hard.
It becomes a right.
Yeah, they think it's a right. So that's one of the things. The other major thing is children not spending enough time outdoors nowadays, right? If you are staying in tall buildings and children are not able to go, so physical activity is so important for children, for everyone in fact, but more so for growing children. So I always say if they play, they eat better, they sleep better, it's good for their mental health. So overall. But many times due to classes, especially if they go into higher grades, then parents first stop the activities thinking that, that's not important. But believe me, free play is one of the most important things that children need, growing children need. So, and of course, now the major one is the screen addiction, right? So children are glued to screens. So, yeah.
Very much. So how do you manage to utilize this?
Yeah, so
how do you make the parents and children to understand?
Yes. So that is what. So when parents come to me, many times they already come with some kind of challenges, right? So then we sit and take a detailed history, a lot of questioning. One of the important questions I ask the parent is, how much time do you spend with your child, right? And then the husband and wife are looking at each other and nudging each other that you're not spending much time. But I can understand, it's a fast-paced world, you have to work, fine. But I think some time you need to spend with your child, connecting with the child.
Find time.
Yeah. Otherwise, and especially before they become teenagers, when they are young kids, because by the time,
they need you actually.
They need
once
you.
they become a teenager, then
the
whole
rift
thing
widens.
changes.
It just widens. I mean, I've dealt with hundreds of teenagers, thousands of teenagers, and I can see that sort of common thing, where they feel, as it is, hormones are aging, there are lots of things happening, and then plus if parents have not spent enough time making them comfortable, talking to them, bonding with them, it becomes difficult. So that is, so when I'm taking the history, I ask all these questions, like, about food, about sleep, about family history, so all that, mainly parents' contribution, how are they spending time? If you're sitting together and each doing your own thing, that really doesn't qualify as spending time. So doing something, playing games together, just conversing, or I would say having a meal together without gadgets around. Do you do that?
No, I don't do it. I keep my gadgets away.
That's good. So that's one of the things, it's a simple thing which I would say to anyone who's listening today, that, decide to have one meal with your family, looking at each other, connecting with each other, keeping the gadgets away. It will really help.
Many of the families you see, like all of them are sitting in different places. Somebody is watching TV, somebody is on the dining table.
Yes. The timings are different, and
eating habits also different.
Eating habits different. But I am saying we should make an effort to at least have one meal. I'm not expecting one meal. Start off with, if not one meal a week, if not every day. I would love that it's every day. But
at least one meal, I think.
One meal a day is a good idea.
Breakfast or
dinner mostly. Breakfast again, children are at school. So dinner is something, or if not dinner, at least a 6 o'clock snack, or when you get back from work. make that effort, to spend time with the family, connecting.
So important actually.
It is so important. And I see I don't know, how old is your child?
30.
13. So most of the conversations parents have with their children are, so what did you do? How was your day? Now where are you going? What is your name? Isn't it? Are you not asking questions most of the time? So children, they just answer in yes, no, okay. You will not find them giving you those answers.
Yeah, communication is missing.
Communication is missing. So one of the ways which I encourage parents to communicate is start sharing. Once you start sharing about how your day was, what did you do, slowly you will see that becomes a habit that everyone shares at the dinner table. So that's why I'm saying have a meal together and start sharing. So you can probably say that, okay, I went to this place today, I had a meeting. You don't have to go into the details. But just share something about your day, right? What does your wife do? Yeah, so she can share something about how her day was. I would just say, oh, today I met this person, or I had this, whatever you did today, the day I met some friends, I went for coffee. Share. You will find children will start sharing. Rather than ask questions, okay, whom did you sit with, what did you eat? We are just asking questions. So
it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, it does. I've seen the small little things make a big difference.
Yeah, small things really count.
They do.
And they go a long way.
They do go a long way, yes. Otherwise, you'll have the teenagers shutting their doors, shutting you out.
Cutting off. So what is that you want to tell the parents?
And another thing,
parents or
would-be parents, yeah. So right now,
it starts off from there, right?
Absolutely. So I am a parenting coach, a certified parenting coach for toddlers, mid-schoolers, and teenagers. Because at each age group the requirements are different, right? They need different kind of support. So I would say, coming back to my earlier point for a moment, is about the screen time. Like I said, I'm not saying say no to anything, right? The moment you say no, it's resistance. So we can give them alternatives, because screen time, the screen doesn't ask you questions, doesn't judge you, right? Just gives you that happy feeling, and that is why you want to spend time. Keeps you busy. You don't know how time passes. And any of us now today, if we start watching something, you don't know where the time is.
Yeah, where the time is.
And with you being an adult and being able to control, but a child is not able to control that, so it's difficult. So that's what I tell in my parenting sessions when I give interventions, that what are the options, like depending on the age group and the lifestyle, that what are the options where you can slowly take them away from screen time or reduce the screen time. I would not say take them away, because
it's not possible.
It's not possible. It's a necessary thing.
It's a necessary thing.
Yeah. But how can we monitor it? How can we reduce it? See what they're watching. Have some kind of control on that as well. That is, we are all so busy. So
yeah, very true. The lifestyle has changed a lot.
And then they don't have that, that cushioning, so then they end up being lonely and stuff. So that's what we don't want. So coming back to starting from when there's a new baby and toddler, that's a whole different ballgame altogether. But what I would say is, if to any young parents listening, is start them, build a routine. As you will not believe how young you can start that. Children are very, very adaptable. They are just ready to learn and be molded.
Yeah.
It's sometimes we who are not able to do that. In our sense of understanding that let's pamper them, let's do things for them, we don't make them independent. I would suggest, as soon as your child has that basic coordination, let them eat on their own. It might be a bit of a mess, it might take more time to clean up. But then that will really develop a good sense for your child with food and make them independent. If you see our children, the moment, if they have to climb up and sit on a sofa, we pick them up and put them. Have you done that?
Not really.
But a lot of parents do, when they're younger, that okay, let them climb. Let them climb, then they'll try. It's building them up. So a lot of children coming to me at the age of 13 and 14.
Sometimes have physical activities.
Exactly. It's a physical activity. It gives them a sense of independence. It's important. Otherwise, I have children in grade 9 where parents are feeding them, parents are tying their shoelaces, parents are packing the bags for them. So that's not what a teenager should be. They should be independent. So start them young, when they can, whatever they can do, age appropriate activities, let them do on their own. Pampering, lad pyar, especially if their grandparents involved, a single child, or if there's an extended family. Secondly, sometimes I feel it could happen, especially I've seen with some women, is that they want to feel needed. So it's only the child who's the one who's giving them all that love and attention. And so they fear that if the child also becomes independent, then what will be our sort of role? Yeah, our importance. So I've seen, a child playing around and the mom just picks the child and puts her in the lap and then says, "ये मुझे छोड़ती ही नहीं है. She needs me so much." I was like, she was just playing, but that need is there, and that could be due to other reasons. Like I said, then I end up counseling the parents, because if the parents are having concerns among themselves, so then it reflects somewhere on the child. And like, because you were brought up in a different way from how your wife was brought up, right? So each of you has experienced a different style of parenting. Now, how do you come to a common consensus when you have to raise your child, right? You either blend in both.
It has to be actually.
Or like, whatever. So yeah, it should be. So we say spend some time discussing about, about how you want to raise your child, and in front of the child be a united front. Like, if the wife is saying something, the husband should not oppose it right there and then. Then the child is confused, or the children start understanding. Okay, we can trade one over the other or play them. So it's better to have a united front in front of the child.
Very good.
It isn't. Yeah, so I would say, especially to parents of younger children, mid-schoolers, take this time and spend with your child, like you've talked. Develop the right routines, make them independent, at the same time bond with them. So that's a tricky thing. When I'm saying you make them independent, but you still spend time. Give them choices, let them make decisions, right? So
you have to just be around, let them fall.
Yes. They should always know that you are their safe space.
Yeah.
To talk, to communicate. That if anything happens, you should come home to your parents first. And that bond to build, you need to spend time with them. So the parents have to spend time with them, right? Connecting with them, right? Yeah, so that's what basically my message is. Second thing is take help. Right? If you're finding any kind of challenges with your child, nowadays, due to many reasons, there are a lot of children coming up with learning disabilities, or not able to cope up in school, or emotionally not able to regulate themselves. So all these concerns are cropping up much more than even 5 years back, 10 years back. So I would say, if you notice anything, take help. Right? Go to a counselor, go to a doctor, go to a coach. For your mental wellness, for your child's health, it's important to get help. There is enough help available today. And if you had a fever or if you broke your arm, you wouldn't think twice, right?
Yeah,
about going to it. You would just go. You would not say, "Oh, what will the person?" Similarly, I would want everyone listening is to have an open mind about this, right? About mental health, basically. So, like, I also do counseling. I do child counseling. I do marriage counseling. So, I would encourage people to come forward and take the help which is available before things get too bad, right? So understand that, be aware of what's happening, and reach out to people, I would say.
Which age group do you find more problems? Is it teenager or?
So yeah, right now I would say most children coming to me, which I have been dealing with, are teenagers. A lot of teenage, and now teenagers extended from 10 to 22, 23 till you're staying. So I have like a lot of this age group children coming to me, mostly in their 15 to 22 age group also. A lot of them, there's a lot of peer pressure, there's a lot of decisions to be made, career choices, coping up with their academics and friends, and so they are going through a tough time. It's not easy being a teenager in today's time with the social. You have to have so many likes, you have to be on Insta, you have to do all this. So we need to be there for them at that time. Not really, intrude into their lives, but be there, available for them. Be the guiding light for them, I would say.
Like you say, the parents have to understand, even the child has to.
See, the children will start understanding at a much older age, right? Younger children obviously are just looking and learning, right, how you behave. So I would say the more of the onus is on the parenting. Of course, when I talk to children, I do guide them on being more grateful, because that is one thing which is needed, being more grounded, being grateful, and of course understanding the parents. It is a two-way street. Yeah. But with younger children, obviously, this is it's more on the but yeah, the teenagers definitely guide them about how they can also contribute, help, and be more understanding, be more grateful.
That's mainly because the changes are happening very fast.
Yeah, it's like
and information available is very
So they are not equipped, their brains are not equipped to handle the information which is available, right? So we have children coming home, and when there's no adult supervision, they are watching stuff which they should not be watching, right? And they're not able to handle that,
Yeah.
right? And then they share it with friends, and then next thing we know, there's a whole lot of people doing that, right? So that is where the parental role is important. But yes, of course, like you said, children have to be taught by example, right? How to be kind, how to be grateful, how to respect each other. So all this they will learn by observing in their surroundings.
Oh, that was nice. Finally, before we end,
Yeah.
any giveaways you have for children and parents?
Like I said, for parents, I've already said that one meal together
Okay.
without gadgets. That would be one thing. If I would encourage everyone to do, every family to set up that time. Second thing, like I said about sharing, right? Don't ask questions, but share. So children will start sharing also how their day was. And the third thing would be physical activity. I would say let children play.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. All age groups, they need that physical outlet and free play. Some time of free play wherever possible. If not, then some kind of sports. So I think physical exercise is very important for
Yeah,
everyone.
physical activities.
Physical activity, any kind of physical activity every day would really help.
Now, we have physically and mentally also.
That will help mentally. It always does. So if people come to me with smoking problem, cannot sleep, anxiety, problems with mother, problem with husband, my answer is go for a walk. And they're like, really? Yes, just go for a walk, go out and get some some fresh air, and it just helps.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
So,
What was the takeaway for you, tell me?
to spend more time with the child. My child is big.
It's okay, they're never too big, I think,
Yeah, but still the child thinks I'm good now.
Child thinks I'm good. Yes.
Rashmi, that was
Okay.
nice talking to you.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure.
Pleasure here.
And that was very informative to my viewers.
I hope so, I
And
hope
learned
so.
a lot
Yeah,
to the
I do.
youngsters and the would-be couples.
I do hope so. I do hope so. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks so
much.
much.
Do like, subscribe, and watch.